Alright, welcome back to the Battle of the Ladder Heroes show match. This tournament is mostly here. This show match was done by the players for all of you to enjoy it and advertise, of course, the fact that, hey, there's this crazy grind going down on the ladder. I'm sure you're bored of hearing me talk about it by now, but I'm going to keep talking about it, guys, because we want to make sure everybody's fully aware of what's going on. We want to try and rally the fans the best we can and make sure that you guys, you get on Twitter, you get on Team Liquid, you tweet to these players, you let them know that you're cheering for them. Not in this tournament, but for the whole month, because at the end of the month, there's that one big-ass tournament where they're going to compete for that prize money that they all contributed, that we contributed to as well, to create the first month's prize. Now, I do want to stress before we do player introductions, there's not an official sponsor for this just yet. There's some lookings into it for the future, and guys, believe you me, if you want to make this a more regular thing, sponsors love seeing fan involvement. So it's quite a big deal. If you want to help the players motivate themselves, if you want to help us secure month 2, month 3, and eventually have the players stop paying into it so that they could just play for cash. All these wonderful things come on the back end of you guys getting involved. So hopefully everyone can get up, go log into Twitter. Even if you got no followers, just send a, hey Bunny, I'm cheering for you in the Battle of the Ladder Heroes, or hashtag it even if you want. Regardless, I've talked too much. Let's do these intros. Spawning here in the southern location of Vanai Research Station. He sadly has no stream, but parentheses yet, because he plans to in the future. He said maybe. It's going to be Millennium's MarineLord.
In the top position, as the Blue Terran, it's Liquid Bunny.
I gotta hand it off to the Team Liquid players. They have been probably the most active about streaming, and I'm sure part of that has to do with contractual obligations, of course. But Bunny's been streaming a bit in the last couple of weeks. Snoot as well in the last couple of days. Of course, now he's in Katowice, possibly doing analysis and whatnot for IM. But I really like watching them play because all of them are pretty good with this nice balance of either commentary or chat interaction or both. Not really dull streams with people like Bunny and such.
It's a very clean stream.
Yeah, they've got rules. So you're not allowed to type Kappa in Snoot's chat, pretty much. Like,
well, I don't know about the actual chat. I don't bother really going in that. But I meant just like when you go there, you're gonna get good quality. Like they're gonna have good overlays, and I guess the commercials are probably timed out nicely. I don't know because I got turbo, but. And that they do just, they have good webcams too. Whereas like some other like Korean streams, it's like kind of like 50-50 if they have a webcam. 50-50 if they even have a mic on. Like 50-50 if there's even like a good mic. But anyways, we have the exact same openers for both players down to the second Reaper.
Well, a kind of cool juke there. I'm not quite sure. I think Bunny saw the Reaper leave the watchtower at the last second. But MarineLord basically saw the Reaper easily, but due to the high brush vision and all that, Bunny not quite afforded the same ease of opportunity. So MarineLord knows not to go across the map, but instead defend, because he's expecting Bunny to get up in his face.
It's so funny, though. Like, people just... You don't really see, like, 2 Reapers anymore. It's either 2 Racks Reaper or just 1. But, because 2 can just be, like, it can do nothing but be, like, more expensive, But in this case, it works out really well for MarineLord, who might just get that last kill, like, one little movement. Well, regen kicks in.
I'm not sure. I mean, he did have to pull a lot of SCVs there, and even if it was just for like a couple of seconds, I mean, still a lot of SCVs got pulled.
It is questionable whether like a 1 Reaper is going to really, or 2 Reapers in MarineLord's case is going to help you in the future too. Like if it was the case, it was a Zerg and you had 2 Reapers instead of 1, then like great, fantastic, that was worth losing 1 SCV or something, or 30 seconds of mining time. But how is this going to help out when it comes to Banshees? They're not going to do anything. Literally.
Literally?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, we had mentioned before getting to this is either going to be a long or a short TVT, and I mean, we're kind of coming to that point where this could determine the length of the match, depending on how much damage these 2 can do to one another. I mean, it looks like MarineLord is going to be playing a little bit safer with a Viking to start, but that doesn't mean he won't be going for a Banshee.
Yep. That Reaper dies. Sees everything needs to see, though. And, okay, he is afraid that there's going to be a Banshee at some point. Like you said, it just could follow up with it, so he does it on Engineering Bay. You want to get the +1 eventually anyways, because they do expect Bunny to play Bio.
One thing we haven't really talked about going into this, of course, advertising the players and all that, MarineLord has been one of the most solid up-and-coming Terran players. And I think back on it, and a lot of that's through his TVZ, a lot of it's through his TVP. I really can't think of a time where I'm like, man, he was either really good or really bad at TVT. I mean, he played against Major in the Lycan League and got stomped not too long ago. But then he turns around to, like, kick ass with every other player that plays. So, I mean, maybe it's a weakness to Major. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, both players are afraid of Banshees, apparently. MarineLord not only gets a Viking and a Raven, but also gets the missile turrets. I would call that overly paranoid. But unless I guess he might be planning on going out with the Raven and the Viking.
Well, this would be a decent catch.
MarineLord is going mech, by the way. I
So
kind of saw that
close.
going that direction as he had a lot of Hellions being found out from that factory. The second factory just confirms it, and Bunny is going to go for bio. Killed it.
Mech is a really interesting thing to... I'm trying to think of a way to describe this without sounding too biased, because I love mech and all that, but it's got a huge weakness, right, where it can get doom dropped really, really easy compared to the other way around. But I think if you go mech, you take better straight-up engagements than, say, the middle of the map. You know, boosting the medevacs with Hellbats, Blue Flame on top of Marines, watch them dissipate and all that. But we already have Marauder production coming out of Bunny, so he's pretty aware of what he's coming up against. Scans to see what's in the main here as well. It's just kind of funny. The scan makes it look like there's 2 starports.
Well, the third... It's funny that he scans and then he goes in with a Banshee. Maybe scanning
for
for also a
Widowmines.
Widowmine.
Yeah.
Kind of. That Banshee would have gotten the Scout and the Mech anyways, but it's now just gonna die. Trying to cloak his Raven there anyways. Like I said, the missile turret seemed a little unnecessary unless he was planning on doing like Raven harass, which he ended up not doing.
Yeah, but see, I mean, you're saying unnecessary, and I don't... For a monetary cost, I agree. But at the same time, like, peace of mind goes a long way in StarCraft 2. Not
That's
having to
true.
worry about this, so you could focus on other things, like your aggression on the other side of the map.
That is true. Now, eventually, I want to get more missile turrets, especially on Vanna, just because that natural says, drop me, please, while attacking in the 3rd or the 4th. And if you can go ahead and get the missile turret down there, then usually I feel like that's the best peace of mind. Sure, they might be able to drop in the main, but that just seems like the second choice of all bio players. Like, okay, I can't drop the natural, well, I might as well give up then.
Yeah. Well, Blue Flame finishes up in a moment. This makes it a lot easier to take engagements versus those Marines, but fully aware that tanks are out on the defensive. Looks like we might just get that longer game. 3 bases apiece for now. I mean, for MarineLord, it's weird to consider, but a lot of the times the way this tends to hash out, Bunny might be able to get a big doom drop later on, you know, bait MarineLord's army to the 3rd and then pick up and go towards the 3rd, the natural base, but I mean, ideally, it should be MarineLord dropping Hellbats in the mineral lines. That's going to be the harass most of the time, right? But Bunny's just such a good player, I don't even know if that'll happen. I mean, just look at the natural bases. Marines, what am I, this turret? He's taking all the precautions.
They're like all spread out in a circle, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not really that worried about doom drops beyond it. Well, I mean,
Oh, there's
as my
5 of
player, I
them.
would be worried.
There's 5 of them. It's the sign of the devil, the
Oh
star.
my God.
The star.
Okay, well, anyways.
Does
I'm more-
Carbot do Diablo animations? Because that'd be perfect right here.
I don't think so. I think he might have done like a couple of WoW ones, but anyways.
Yeah.
The main push is what I'm most afraid of. You know, when Bunny faced Hearthstone, I talked about like Bunny might just like, 'cause he's doing his thing, right? Like there's not been any harass on his part. He is good enough to, you know, say I can take on 1 Colossus and 5 Stalkers. Oh, nice Hellion harass. I don't know how they got in there. And push through and win. That's what he did against Hearthstone. Mech's kind of similar. You can look at it, say, okay, 4 tanks, 5 Hellions. I can push through that with my macro. Just got a big old army.
Oh man, both players scout each other here with the scans really nicely, see exactly what's up. It's so hard. I mean, Hellbats have 135 health, and they're light units. Siege tanks do not exactly obliterate these things as they truck through to the front lines. And I gotta be honest with you, Soundbreak, you would think it'd be the other way around. I mean, the fact that Hellbats are light units still kind of blows my mind, but I guess necessary for banlings.
MarineLord playing very defensive, getting a bunch of missile turrets to make sure that drops
Is
up
that
on
2
his tank.
Seekers? Oh, it is 2 Seekers.
Yes, it is. Nice.
Stacked up really cool like that.
He's also investing into those medevacs. Now, it's still possible for Bunny to take good engagements, even if he doesn't have air control, but I think the best way to deal with this is that air control. You know, just not let them get the medevac drops with Hellbats.
He's putting his own sensor tower down. I love this. This is pretty key to note because you'll know when your opponent's starting to head towards your attack. You need to know whether those medevacs are boosting in. But look what Bunny's doing behind this. He's not wasting any time. He knows, okay, my opponent's got a pretty heavy ground composition. I need something to shoot down.
Yeah. It's like two girls wearing the same dress with these stupid like sensor towers. They both came up at the same time, and it's like, oh, that was awkward.
I hate to be disreferenced, but I actually kind of like it for here. This is like two girls wearing the same dress, but one's white and gold, the other's black and blue. Because it's a pretty similar composition in the front lines. The tank line's going to hold position, the sensor tower's going to give vision of everything, but realistically, there is more to it. Back at home, again, battle cruisers coming out for Bunny. MarineLord sensing that's going to go towards that air attack, also throwing down double starports. These guys are both so good at the matchup, they're both so smart, they know exactly what to do. I love it, and a lot of this comes off the back end of not actually knowing, as weird as that sounds to say. I mean, there's no scouting information to confirm, but... Yeah, he sees all those Vikings. That's a huge tell.
That amount of Vikings is just, you know what's going on. The Hellbat drops are really cool, and since they are both going to go into air, I don't have to talk about, like, you know, if he's losing the Hellbat drops here, then he doesn't have Hellbat drops during the main engagement, because honestly, they're going to have a main engagement with the ground army. I mean, maybe a little, but it's all going to be about the air and winning out with the air war. And Marine, I don't think they're down a fusion core, so he's not going to go for battle cruisers. I
think tanks are going to be a little bit more imperative for MarineLord, though. It will keep the Marines... I mean, Marines are so good for anti-air. So, I mean, you don't want them stimming underneath your Vikings. You don't want them stimming underneath your Ravens. So, keeping these tanks alive is going to be a pretty big deal. That's annoying.
The ground army is just... It actually is important at all times. It's just a question of whether it is actually there, right? So, if it's here now, then okay, it's going to be important. But soon enough, they're going to want to, you know, exchange that supply for a bigger air army. But then once the air army collides, then the bio play remaxes faster with bio, and then that's something, you know, there's definitely different parts, but they're definitely playing this TVT out faster. Like, usually we have a couple of engagements with bio versus mech before we see the mass air go down.
Oh my god, there's so many Vikings that the point defense drone did virtually nothing. I'm loving the turrets placed down on the front lines too. This is pretty big. For someone who has no ground to air, no Thors, no Widowmines, we'll see this chase off the Vikings. This goes a long way towards what's coming up.
Six Vikings at a time. Bunny is wasting starports on battle cruisers.
I don't know if it's wasted just yet. I mean, he'll be able to eventually start matching up some of the Viking production. More starports on the way. Bunny does have a lot more bases than his opponent, and thus he'll have a more secure economy. So, I mean, okay, yeah, right now it's a bit of a waste, because 6 Vikings at a time are going to just truck 1 or 2 battlecruisers, but, I mean, don't forget, there's so many Marines underneath this. Those Vikings can't exactly overstep their bounds. If they overextend even once, it can be devastating. These Hellion run-bys are pretty darn cool, too. The planetary is kind of nice for the top, but as we see, they get behind the mineral lines and then just hold position out of range.
I'm really not that worried about these Marines. I think they're just going to get obliterated before they can help out with the Viking war.
It comes down to positioning, right? I mean, regardless of whether it's Marine tank or Viking battlecruisers, I mean, positioning TVT is critical.
For Bunny, since he's the one that's going to be relying, quote-unquote, on the battlecruisers, he's the one that needs the range. He's the one that needs to be in MarineLord's face, and thus the tanks should cover everything on the ground.
Oh, the tanks on siege is nice, but we have to back away. Random Widowmine shot.
Mine's gonna do something? No.
He's got no vision at the tower if he doesn't have a Marine there, but this is what I was talking about for that positioning! If he overextends a little too much, it could go quite badly for him. I mean, this air army is insane, right? 24 Vikings versus 14.
Yeah.
So favorable for MarineLord.
Really is.
Do you remember for a time, like, the counter to battlecruisers where people just go like crazy Widowmines? I kind of wish we would see that come back.
Oh, I love that. But here's, you know, I see one problem. Hold on, I lost it. Here's the problem is,
it's the problem that you need glasses.
Anyways, is that MarineLord, like, okay, he wins the air war, but, like, the Vikings are going to really help out. So I don't know if Bunny will necessarily want to remax on air again.
Maybe, but I don't think this fight's going to be risky in the first place. He will take
so good.
I mean, that goes way better for Bunny than I thought it would, but still is going to be MarineLord's fight.
Oh no, I thought you got like, okay, yeah, I would say MarineLord took that really, really great. Now, like I said, if you could like get like 13 Marauders out here before the tanks find a good position, then the Vikings don't really matter anymore. Like, okay, you have a bunch of Vikings and Marauders are going to trump that. But now they're choked into the natural. He is still mining off of technically 4 base, so the third is going to have to be lifted soon here, and they're all going to die to the Vikings.
Yeah, can't lift versus these Vikings. He'll try and take some shots off. Nice moves out of Bunny. Catches one of the Vikings out of position. Might try and emulate this again and again.
Don't like that the battle cruiser was the option with the Bunny. I think Ravens would have been so much better.
I think the battlecruiser was a good option
bugs.
if MarineLord wasn't prepared for it, but he was, and that's the problem, right?
Okay, that's
Stims in to try and take out the tanks. They are unsieged, and he will win this fight.
There
If
you
that's the case, he should be able to hold and push this back.
And that's what I was getting at, right? Like the Marauder
There's
Remax.
no concussor shells. I just realized.
Okay, that's a little funny. They're actually very helpful against Hellbats, but
Exactly. I mean, the primary part of why you go for armored units like Marauders is they don't die to the blue flame, but it's secondary because you kite with the concussor shells.
yeah. So while he pushes that back just barely, barely got enough Marauders, the tanks were unsieged. He still lost a lot of orbital commands.
Yeah, there's like 4 bases that went down there. That was pretty nasty.
Oh right, and the one in the middle. Yep.
I guess, though, I'm still looking around the map. I mean, saturating his gas is not that big of a deal because he's got a gas bank going for him. The battlecruisers, okay, he makes one more and kind of stops. It's not a bad move. Oh, that's going to be a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Not a bad move to kind of cut investment into it, but still, he's going to need some sort of air control because trying to use tanks, he's not going to have any medevacs out, and what little he has is going to get sniped by the Vikings. He can't just let this get out of hand from MarineLord.
It's an interesting choice. I mean, he does have this really nice like starport production where if he went into Raven Viking, he would win the air war. But then, maybe you can get away with only going bio. Sure, all your medevacs will die, but if your bio can just roll over the tanks, then it's not that big of a problem. Like once you're in a Terran production line, doesn't matter if you have medevacs or not, you're probably going to win.
Isaac auto track is coming out, but I still don't think that properly reaches this far side of the cliff. I don't know, that's gonna be funny to see.
This is a body legend.
No, you don't see Isaac auto tracking come out enough.
Other interesting point about this game is that since both players went so fast in that air, Bunny actually just gave up on his upgrades for his bio. So he's at 2-1, and he's only getting 3-1 now. So those Marauders really aren't going to tank, I think, as much as we're used to seeing.
Ooh, this is risky. There's a lot of turrets.
I think gets most of it out. He's going to save a couple of medevacs, too.
Okay, well, this we go talk about that production. Here comes on top of the Tech Lab snipes, on top of the factory snipes. Hopefully get some siege tanks in position to stop this from pushing in too deep. But you know what? Without concussor shells, he can't kite the Hellions.
Oh, he got it.
Oh, did I get? Okay. Didn't realize I didn't even catch the production tab. But MarineLord going for battlecruisers now. Interesting.
Okay.
But I guess no need for kiting if you can't live anyway, so. Job on the side is going to be behind a planetary fortress mineral line. Oh, medevac, please. Medevac, please.
Oh, God. You just stay right there. Okay, you're going to die. Never mind. Yeah, that drop looked okay and good, but the army was fast enough, and it was really about killing the army and then getting the production that I was talking about. Like, that would win Bunny the game, of course, but just these drops, they're so easy to clean up. It's like only doing drops against Zerg player. They send the mutas over, no big deal. I was thinking more like 3-pronged aggression, but I believe Bunny scanned the 5th base
They've
and
both
was like, I
been
can't
scanning
go.
all
I
day,
can't
man.
go.
Like,
Yeah.
All right, so I'm really curious about the battlecruiser choice out of MarineLord. I'm actually not too keen on that, to be honest with you, but
I don't know.
no cancel, gets a kill. I guess if he finds his opponent over-investing in Marauders, the battlecruiser are like kingmakers, right? But if he gets on top of the tanks, if he can't, just stim in there.
I'm gonna go ahead and blame that 1 armor, okay? I think that off of the rest of the tanks would have died if he had 3 armor.
Yo, okay.
Just saying. I'm just saying. But it's just something we're not used to seeing if it goes back into a bio game.
Down a little bit quick. Vikings are going to pick up the medevacs. He knew it too, but he gets on top of the tanks in that dead zone. Point defense drone going to help hold this though. Marauders getting shut down entirely. Oh, 2 medevac full units basically given away for free.
Yeah, I am liking MarineLord's position a lot better. I mean, they both don't have a bank. They're both on 4 base, like 5 bases versus 5 base, yeah, and. I guess the upgrades are pretty similar, 3-1 versus 3-1. It's just that MarineLord feels like he's gonna have a better composition. He's taking the better engagements anyways. Better engagements.
I think what's kind of killing me for this is Buddy's taking really good positions for these fights, but he either never has enough or he doesn't have the right composition to really push into it. And now he's going to lose this gold base. Luckily, he has pretty much mined it out, so to lose this is to lose the gas geysers primarily. Something he's not too concerned about is the bio player. But this is still rough.
Oh, it's very rough. I was just wondering where is that supply? He has even supply. Where did it go? So that can't be it. Okay, some over there.
I think a
There it
supply
is.
depot or a bunker by the mineral lines to keep us from running behind it would have been great a long time ago.
Yeah. What I was thinking. You know, Bunny is still investing in that +3 vehicle weapons. That's
I mean, he got
that's
some more
cool,
battle
but-
cruisers out.
Well, he never got enough money to go into more than just 1 or 2 battle cruisers, though. Like, obviously, MarineLord is still winning the air war.
I mean, Yamato's can go a long way, and maybe we can win the fight through that regard, but this point defense drone is going to be such a big deal. Not just 1, but 2. So these Vikings get wasted, the orbital goes down. This is not looking so good for Bunny. I mean, before he had a real fighting chance, he's going to try and maybe base trade it out a little bit, but there's defensive tanks, there's a planetary fortress, there's Hellbats in his face, SCVs get pulled into it, and he gets flanked from behind. This is
That's
looking
rough.
pretty bad for a Team Liquid player.
Yeah, this is probably game. I liked the choices made up until like the 15-minute mark, right? Like fast air against a mech player can be very effective, but MarineLord was totally on top of it.
Yeah, through and through. Game number 1